time now. A Watford football player has been praised for raising awareness of stammering after a video of his post-match interview went viral.
Ken Sema gave the interview with his stammer and received an overwhelming response from people celebrating him for being a positive role model for children with the condition. Our reporter Tim Muffet has been to meet him.
Ken, lovely to meet you. I wanted to first ask you about this interview you gave last month. You'd scored 2 goals, you played against West Brom, and the interview you gave had an enormous reaction.
I'm happy with the goals. I'm happy with the win today as well. It wasn't a must win here at home.
You spoke with a stammer, and some people hadn't heard that before. Were you surprised by the reaction?
Actually, I was. I didn't think like this. You know, obviously I had a good game. Yeah, he had like a hit on target on the keeper, and then I was just there. You know, and he just was like right on my foot, and I just smashed it onto the goal. For the video to become so big, it was amazing because it was so much love, so much like real reactions, and I heard so many big names, so it's like role model, inspirational. I've helped so many kids and adults who maybe also has a stammer.
Have you always had a stammer?
So maybe started when I was six years old, but I didn't knew so how it came. You know, I didn't know anything. It just come. I became 8, 10. I just felt like it's normal. It's like a part of me. Obviously, I had some days I was a little bit more nervous. I like, okay, so I have to go in front of the class, but I still did it. You know what I mean? Like, it never affected me in like a way that I can't do it.
Here's Sema. Was very strong, bringing that forward.
I always had this dream to like become a footballer.
It's a little trick there as well.
And I didn't see this as an issue.
Some people with stammers, they say that they avoid certain words or they try and hide it. Yeah. Do you have that issue?
Not really. I'm trying to say everything I think. It doesn't find me as a person, you know, like, okay, this is Ken with a stammer. I don't see it that way.
And I'm curious because you're Swedish, so English is not your first language. Does that affect your stammer?
You're getting used to it, you know. I'm getting used to it. I've been here a long time. I've been here 5 years. I learned English in school, so like I don't feel like it's hard for me. So like to speak English and have a stammer.
There have been quite a few famous people who have stammers. Joe Biden, for example, the US president, he's spoken about his.
This isn't about, there's a reason why he's bringing up all this malarkey. I learned so much from having to deal with stuttering. It gave me insight into other people's pain.
How important is it, do you think, that people such as yourself talk about it and are open about it?
No, I think it is actually. It is because if I told myself also like as a young kid, like 10 years old at TV, I watch like, oh, he's a footballer has a stammer. I would feel like, wow, amazing, because he's like me, you know. If he can do it, I can do it.
Sema with the spin.
And you've become a role model for many people because of the interview and because of talking about this. How important is that for you?
I didn't expect that really, but I'm happy about it. Thankful about every comment, thankful about everything, and if I can help, I'm here to help.
So that was Ken Sema talking to Tim Muffet there. Joined now by the podcaster and campaigner Will Larvin. Will, good morning to you.
Morning.
How important was it seeing someone like Ken Sema kind of be celebrated after that post-match interview?
Oh, it was absolutely incredible because, well, especially stammering doesn't have that many role models, and then especially sport, because you can't really think of that many sportsmen. Like Tiger Woods has a stammer, but you would have no idea. There's a few rugby players that have a stammer, but you just have no idea. And seeing someone come out about it so naturally in like a post-match interview when you have so many people watching it. It's so good, but also the response from it was amazing because so many people responded to his comment sections like, oh, I've got a stammer too, this means so much to me.
Take us back in time a bit, Will, from when you were younger, and you're saying how good it is to have someone, you know, in a public forum you can see who has a stammer. What about you when you were younger? How was it for you?
So I've had a stammer my whole life, so I've never known life without a stammer. I was very delayed saying my first few words, and I had speech therapy for the first 10 years of my life, intense speech therapy. And like going through school, like it was quite tough because of having a stammer like the class register, being William, my name was always right at the end of the list, so everyone would say their names really, really snappy. I mean, when it would just be silent by the time I would, because I used to stammer really badly saying my name.
Okay. And then you went through a process of trying to deal with it differently.
Yeah, like I had different speak techniques that I used. One was called slid for slide, basically. And then I used to have post-it notes by my desk at school. Because growing up, my stammer was so severe that it would take me around 1 or 2 minutes to say a full sentence.
People make their, it's not a judgment, is it? Just their reflections hearing you this morning. And I think I could have spoken to you now and not known you had a stammer. But in a way, the important thing about someone appearing publicly who very obviously does have a stammer is actually it doesn't. That doesn't matter. And if it's better for you if if it changes over time. But it shouldn't matter, should it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think the big thing around stammering is that it's still sadly one of the stigmas that people still expect the worst rather than they don't expect a whole varied spectrum. Like you may not expect someone with a milder stammer, or you may not, if someone told you beforehand that they had a stammer, you may not realise that they may have just a stammer like mine, or you may have someone with a really, really severe stammer.
What would you say to someone who meets someone with a stammer for the first time? What are the things that people who don't have a stammer tend to do that's really annoying?
Yeah.
And what are the ways to address someone with a stammer and help?
The main thing is to never finish our sentences. I mean, I think because what people don't realise is that if you make a scene or sort of acknowledge our stammer in the wrong way, we will stammer more. So you'll be there longer in the conversation. So you may think but I think the sad thing is that people think they're helping us, but actually you're making it harder because we aren't already conscious about our stammer. Like we think about it like all the time. Like I know I've stammered way more in the conversation than you may have realised, and I'm conscious of those words that I've stammered on. But I think just be open about it, but also just what is the rush in that conversation? When I think people may have a gap in like a conversation, it might be there for a reason.
So when you're in situations, for example, like you mentioned the register, say, I don't know, you're getting on the bus and someone says, oh, have you paid your fare? And you've got to ask quickly, you know someone's in a rush. Does that put more pressure on you, those time constraint situations?
Massively. Like situations that I find really hard, everyday situations like that I do every day, like going into a cafe, is like the builder or going up to order. And like sometimes I've had moments where I've gone up to the front and I've just completely changed my order because I have fear on my stammer. Because we always expect people will either judge our stammer or make fun of it when we know that they won't. But so I've had times where I've wanted X drink on the menu, but actually I've changed that because I feel like, oh, I may stammer saying that word, so I get some that I can say.
But is that because people are less tolerant? I mean, surely it's got better in the sense that people don't make stammer jokes now, you know, or they're frowned upon if they are. And if you're in, you know, society and we meet people with all different abilities and all different, you know, living with all different things, we're much more accepting, aren't we?
It's a really weird one because actual stammering children did a YouGov poll and it came out that 27% of Brits think it's okay to make fun of someone with a stammer. This is an extremely high percentage, but scarily it's quite believable because I think people don't realise you're making fun of our voice, and it's quite a weird thing because you're making fun of how we speak, and if you make fun of jokes of a young child of how they speak, they may never want to speak. And we all have kids who have really big ideas, but they they just fear and have that judgment that they will get judged and made fun of because of what they say.
It's been really lovely talking to you this morning. Thank you so much. Will, you're a podcaster as well, obviously. So thank you so much for explaining everything for us.
Thank you. It's 8 o'clock. We'll be back with the headlines very shortly.